And welcome. This is Gina Dallison, and this is my inspired podcast, Diary of a Healing Entrepreneur, inspired by Steve Bartlett and his Diary of a CEO. And I have been a prolific diary writer for many years. I have been on this entrepreneurial journey for the last 8, and I've been on a conscious self-healing journey for the same amount of time. Not on purpose, or certainly not consciously, did I decide to intertwine these two journeys. And I can promise you, it has not been an easy path to take. But what it has given me is a desire to share how my experience can help, inspire, support others on their own journey. And nobody's journey is the same. Everybody's is different. And if I can just give a little bit of my reflections to help somebody else process what they're going through, then I feel it's been worthwhile. I am excited, scared, sometimes tired, sometimes super energized. I flip from one to the other. I have great ambition, and I'm also on a mission to change the perspective of illness, to see it as a gift. So I am living with multiple sclerosis. I was diagnosed in 2009. It really started impacting on my life around 2017. And that's when I decided to carve my own path through life and this journey. I started to unwrap the gift that my MS was giving me. I kept it hidden before that. I just ignored it, hoped it would go away. It didn't really bother me too much. And then gently and slowly, it's infiltrated my life. And that's not fun. It is not fun getting more disabled. It is not fun getting more disabled. But it has inspired me, I guess, to look at my situation, my life in a very different way. And the gift that it gave me was that I recognized when it forced me to stop or helped me to stop, I recognized I was not happy in many parts of my life. I really wasn't. And the only person that could do anything about that was me. And that is a scary thing when you stop blaming other people around you and start taking full responsibility. It is a big decision, but for me it's been a worthwhile one. I am still on the journey. Unlike Steve Bartlett, when he started his Diary of a CEO, he was a successful 25-year-old CEO. I am not. This is not a comparison, because comparison is the thief of joy, right? I am recognizing I am not a 25-year-old entrepreneur. I am actually a 54-year-old entrepreneur that is still feels like I'm many steps away from what I would call being a successful one. But I am not giving up, certainly not yet anyway. And even what I've learned on this journey is worth sharing, because as I sit here now, I am very reliant on a mobility scooter to move any steps. I can get away, I can get around my house, but only when I grab hold of something either side. My mobility and balance is very off. You'll hear sometimes I stutter over my words as well. I'm sure that's an MS thing. So I need to slow down. I also have an overactive bladder, and I'm unable to control it. So when I need to go, I need to move quick. But of course, I don't move quick. I don't move quick. However, however, I still live an amazing life. I feel, especially in this box, I feel super healthy. Most of the time, my energy is high. When I'm, especially if I manage it well, my energy stays high. I do a lot of self-care practices in my days and in my weeks. And I'm going to share some of those with you over the coming weeks. So the idea of this, a bit like, well, it's a diary reflection. So I've reflected in over the last week of what I've been up to. And I'm going to share some of those reflections and learnings with you now, with the hope that watching me and seeing how I manage my way through life and the highs and the lows, the the fears, the challenges, the excitement, the choices that I make, and the doubts that I have, as well as the trust that I have that I'm on a path that is going to be good for me and it is going to be amazing and life is amazing. And how can you shift the perspective in your situation, whether that's illness or whether that's some other challenge? We all experience challenges. Life is, yeah, and part of this journey for me is learning what life actually is. And it's been a very spiritual journey for me. I'm not a I'm not a religious person. I don't subscribe to any organized religion, but I do believe deeply in that there's something bigger than us, a connection of us, a God, a universe, a spirit. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's definitely there. And if we can slow down enough to tap into it, then we will get guided. We all have an intuition, and I am training mine, if you like, learning how to develop my own intuition so I can move through life with ease and flow and joy and happiness. And for me, that's what life is about. And it's a daily, ongoing practice. And sometimes it doesn't feel like that. There are tears, there are worries, there are upsets. But through it all, we can decide to smile and laugh and connect and be kind. I don't really know where to start. So if you've been following me for a while, you'll know a lot of my journey. So I'm not going to go back and tell you all of my journey. I'm going to start with reflecting on this last week. So last Thursday was the 1st of May. And on the 1st of May, I came back from a week-long trip at the Isle of Wight. Preceding that, I had a couple of days in Southbourne with a friend. So I stayed with two friends. The weather was incredible. My week was awesome. I I actually had some real downtime, which is something I don't really do very often. I came off I still was connecting a little bit on social media and I connected into my group. I've got a Facebook group called the Healing Vibrations Network. And what I do there, I show up every day and I go through an acronym I've created called Blignite. And what Blignite does is it grounds me and it centers me and it helps me make sense of what I'm going through. And I'll talk you briefly what Blignite is. B is for breath, breathing. You saw me at the beginning, just taking a breath. Well, everything was doing its thing. L is for laughter. Because I've done a bit of laughter yoga. I'm not a fully trained laughter yoga practitioner, but I have done some laughter yoga and it is really powerful. And we can laugh at any time. And it's contagious and it makes you feel good. So L is for laughter. I is for intention. And intention is what we want to happen. we look at the next little section of our life and what would we like to happen. So living life by intention a bit more. G is for gratitude. And gratitude is such a powerful practice because it makes you appreciate what you do have and what you've got going on in your life. And when we appreciate, we raise our vibrations. So everything that I do and I talk about and I work on, it's about raising our vibrations, because when our vibrations are higher, life feels better, basically. So G is for gratitude. N is for nature, getting out in nature. I am so blessed. I have a dog. I have 2 guinea pigs outside. So every day, even if it's just to get outside in the garden, I get outside. I always aim for a little bit more than that. And going through the Blignite acronym in my head just reminds me that when I am in nature, just to be more present in it, notice it a little bit more, be more mindful, and take a breath and take in that moment. That's nature. I is for what we ingest, our food, our drink, what we ingest here as information coming in, what we, there's a lot that we ingest. T is for what we tell ourselves. What is our internal dialogue like? And again, that's a reminder that sometimes the negative chatter can come coming in. And even when I've been practicing this as much as I have, it's still there. And then reminding ourselves that we can change our own internal dialogue very quickly, very easily, with a bit of intention, a bit of breath. And just a reminder to ourselves that actually we don't have to follow this negative thought pattern. We can change it up, we can change it around. And I've got a couple of nice ones that I've picked up. So I use a lot of affirmations, and I've got a couple of great ones that I've picked up this week. I give my best and let the rest be given to me. I'll let that settle for a minute. I give my best and let the rest be given to me. Isn't that beautiful? So that's what I'm telling myself. And E, the last letter of Blignite, is just to remind ourselves to enjoy each and every moment. I also have a little song that I've created around the Blignite, and I'm not really much of a singer, but I might subject you to that later on. I'll see what the timings are like. So what else has happened this week? I came back from an amazing week on the Isle of Wight where I swam in the sea for 5 days on the trot. I met some amazing people that just went out of their way to pick me up, to lend me some kit, to help me physically get into the water, get out of the water and get dressed again. And every day in this group of wonderful swimmers at the Isle of Wight, I had somebody different helping me get my knickers on. How amazing is that? That is really a way of breaking down barriers and making friends. So it was great. When I came back last Thursday, I felt amazing. Now, I'm also going to share with you, the idea of this podcast, this broadcast, is to be honest, authentic, and open. And one of the things that I've had an ongoing on and off relationship is with marijuana. And my previous long-term, well, both 2 of my previous long-term boyfriends were smokers. I really started smoking regularly when I got together with my ex, and he was a smoker, and we smoked most days. We had some little spaces in it, so, but that was something we did. I'm sure our relationship wouldn't have lasted as long as if we didn't. It's definitely a duller. Over the last 2 years, I don't smoke now, or I say don't smoke now, until I came back from holiday and had a little smoke with my son in the garden. But on the whole, I don't smoke now. I have, because I don't want to put toxins into my body, and smoking is a toxin. But I have created a couple of edibles that I have every now and again. And what I love about smoking, or what I love about taking marijuana, I should say, is that it gets rid of all the negative chatter, all the worries that are just hovering around there, and it allows me to see clearly. So that's what I love about it. And also the less I take, the more of a lift it gives me, I suppose, the more I can see clearly. So I do use it on occasion. You'll hear me talking about it because it's when I take it, it's when I get the most amazing ideas. I get planning, I get organized, I feel great. And also, what it does for me, it's that I think I've got an underlying fear of there's not enough time. And when I have some marijuana, it gets rid of that fear and just clears the way. So I know that I can get to that place without taking any marijuana. And at times I have, which has been amazing, but it's still like a little crutch that I do use on occasion. I'm using it less and less. I've also been working on over the last 8 years a coaching program because when I went through a bit of a what I can only call as my vortex of shit back in October 2017, I came up with this idea. I wasn't high on marijuana then, I was high on steroids. um, mm, that I was going to be a coach. And since then, I've been on this journey to support people, other people that have been are in my shoes as they were, that I can support and help guide them and help them create their path to wellness. I've created it. It's called the Map to Wellness program, but it really is helping people develop their own intuition, work out what it is that's inside of them that's still wanting to come out, and discovering a deeper level of self-awareness. And that's what it's given me and still continues to give me. And knowing and getting to, and it's never evolving journey. You don't become self-aware and that's it. You come through layers upon layers, and you still get triggered with things, and there's still things that upset you, but a lot less of them now. One of the very nice compliments that I had when I was away, when I arrived in the Isle of Wight, it'd been a long journey. The ferry had been delayed by an hour. And the comment was, oh my God, I can't believe how calm you are as you came in. I would have been stressed to hell. And that wasn't, and I was also meeting her mother-in-law for the first time. So came straight in and just was able to be in that moment without any stress and worry about what happened. And that's definitely something it's one of my superpowers, really. There are times when I get stressed, obviously, but I am able to notice it and calm it down in the moment. I do a bit of bligniting in my head. I take a breath and I'm able to get through that moment. So now it becomes more of who I am as opposed to the practice. So it definitely works. It certainly has for me anyway. So coming back from the Isle of Wight was fantastic. Having a little smoke with my son in the garden was just beautiful, actually. I was watching my guinea pigs. I let them out because the grass has grown. So Zach, I've been looking after my guinea pigs, and just they give me so much joy. I don't handle them very much these days because catching them's a bit of a problem, but they're sort of trained to go back into their hut when we're ready to go in. So just watching them run around the garden and eat the grass gives me so much joy. That's something else that I talk about a lot. Do things that fill your cup. What things that actually like fill you with energy? And talking on camera, strangely, fills my cup. So this is what I'm doing it for. Another affirmation, I'm just reading this one now. So I'll reread the first one again. I give my best and let the rest be given to me. And this is around delivering out the best version of ourselves in any moment. This is what I'm taking from it anyway. And just be open to receive what other people or what the universe can give to you. And another affirmation that I picked up today as well, because I did a mudra, I think it's called mudra, when we do the finger yoga. And I'm sorry, I can't remember who the lady was, but I went on a little training with her. And she said, I use thoughts and words of strength and love, and everything that I think and speak comes back to me. I'll say that again. I use thoughts and words of strength and love. So this is when you can feel yourself thinking things that aren't full of strength and love, that are bringing you down, and how you notice that you're thinking thoughts that aren't on your highest level is how you feel. You won't feel good. You'll feel doubt. You'll feel worry. And these feelings don't disappear. This morning I was full of it. This morning I was in tears because I felt like I'm not going anywhere with my business. I'm not really knowing what I'm doing. I was full of confusion, full of doubt. I've taken on a new role at Toastmasters, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? How have I got time to do this as well? There was one part of me that really wants to do it, and another part of me that's like, no, don't. So I'm I'm here sharing with you the authenticity and the realness of what having an ambition while still learning how to bring that ambition to life, and and in a changing world as well, because the world is changing at such a pace right now. Here we are almost halfway through May. It's like, how did that even happen? It only felt like yesterday I was returning from the Isle of Wight at the end of an amazing April. And yeah, I've done so much. I look back at this week and think, oh my God, I've done so much. So my energy is good most of the time. And reflecting and sharing is helping me sort of slow it down a little bit. So I'm not going at a pace of, a full pace all the time. I also set my intentions for May when I came back. So my intentions for May is the Toastmaster Conference, which is taking place, the District 71 Toastmaster Conference here in the UK, which is taking place tomorrow on Friday, the 9th of May. So we're now on Thursday, the 8th of May, 2025. I would like to grow my Facebook group, the Healing Vibrations Network. I want to be growing it to 20 plus a week. It's not that, it's stagnated at the moment. So if anybody's listening to this and wants to come across for a little bit of daily doses of Blig Nights and also connecting with other people that are on a similar journey, then do come across. That would be amazing to see you. I am also creating some stuff in my business around funnels. So I have got, when we talk about funnels, this is our sales funnel. So the idea that people come into my world, they learn a little bit about what I do, and then maybe they get to know me on a deeper level, because this work is deep. I am not selling a quick fix. In fact, I don't even know if I'm selling a fix, if I'm honest with you. But what I am selling is a shift in attitude, a change in how you see your situation, that shift in perspective that can make your life right here, right now, as amazing as it can be, as we take steps towards who we want to become, rather than who we're afraid that we're going to become. So that is my offer. And if that doesn't make sense, please tell me, because that means my messaging is wrong and I've got some more work to do. So learning the world of an entrepreneur has been the most difficult thing that I have ever done. More difficult than parenting. I think more difficult than healing, to be honest with you. It's a continues to be a real challenge, and everything changes all the time, but it is super exciting and it definitely fills my cup. On Saturday, I did some mentoring for my Toastmaster colleagues. So we do a little online session I'm a member of two Toastmaster clubs. And Toastmasters, if you don't know about it, is a non-for-profit organization, globally accessible for developing your public speaking and leadership skills. And I love it. I've been a member since 2018. I'm a member of Godiva Speakers Toastmaster Club in Coventry in the UK, and also Pegasus Advanced Speakers Online, which is online, so you can join anywhere. So it doesn't matter where you are, come along and see what a meeting's about. You can come along and try the meetings for free just to see what they're about, and they are always good fun. That is definitely something else that fills my cup. In amongst all this time, I'm dating as well. I have been single now since 2000. Well, no, that's not true. I split up from the father of my children in 2017. I had an open relationship with a guy for about 5 or 6 years, and that's sort of dwindled off now. We're both doing our own thing. We're still friends, but I am exploring the world of polyamory and ethical non-monogamy, not because I'm wild about sex, because I'm not really. I think a lot of people in my situation, a middle-aged lady, I've gone through menopause. I have gone through menopause. I can't remember what I was going to say, and I forget my words. So, oh, I was going to say my libido is sort of dropped a little bit, and also I think because I've got so much that I want to do, um, meeting men is or relationships is way down the list. But what I've discovered about myself this week is what I really love about the whole dating thing is the initial meeting. The first time when you meet somebody, that pure potential of you don't know what it's going to turn into. And but I don't really have time for long conversations with people. But I have met a couple of guys, and one I'm looking to meet in a couple of weeks. I've met him before actually, and we get on really well. Um, so I think we're going to take it a step further. And I've also met another guy who lives down in the South Coast, which was great when I was in the Isle of Wight, but we didn't actually get to meet. So, but not very helpful now. And but he is really quite spiritual and his healing as well. So we've been having some great conversations. So I'm doing that as well. I also reached out to Matt Rowe. If you haven't come across Matt Rowe, he is a coach who lives in the States, who is delivering the MS Symptom Free Summit, which is taking place in June. And I am going to be a speaker there. And I reached out to him. I've been a speaker at his summit before. This is his fourth year he's doing it. And he didn't ask me the last year. He asked me the first year and he didn't ask me last year. And I felt a little bit, I'm not part of their gang because I'm not symptom free. And then I spoke to Janine Troutman, who's changed her name now, who is a symptom freer. And she told me that she was speaking at it. And I said, oh, he didn't invite me. And she said, he didn't invite me either. I asked him. I thought, oh, I'll ask him then. So I did. We had a conversation and I am speaking at it. And what it seems to be, he's changing his rhetoric a little bit. It is about becoming symptom free. I do believe it is possible. Whether we all do it in this lifetime or not is a whole nother question, but I do believe it is possible. And I I think it's the symptom freeness is more of an attitude more than anything else. I believe it is possible, and that belief is putting a smile on my face and is keeping me going in the direction that I want to go. It's keeping me exercising. It's keeping me doing my self-care practices. It's keeping me eating good food. It is keeping me getting out in nature and doing the big night thing. It is keeping me going, and that is incredible in itself. And also, I think symptom free is an attitude because as I'm becoming symptom free, I recognize that It might not be a linear path. We don't just go start from here and go ooh, straight up. It's more like ooh, it's more like that. So I want to enjoy every twist and turn, no matter what it brings me. That is my internal dialogue. That's what I'm reminding myself when I talk about the tea and blig night when I'm talking to myself. So reminding myself, actually, I'm on the right path. I'm making the right choices for me, even when sometimes I doubt myself. That's okay as well. We can forgive ourselves for that. My youngest son is turning 18 on Sunday, and I'm such a rubbish mother. Mm. I'm not going to be here when he wakes up on his 18th birthday because I'm at the Toastmasters conference, but I will be there. I will be back in the afternoon. So I spent 2 days this week, or 3 days this week, really, creating a photo book for him, which has been it's been a really interesting journey actually, because I've made photo books for people before. It's sort of one of the things that I like to do because it's such a lovely gift to give. It takes a lot of time if you've ever made one before. You have to pull all the photographs together and decide what order you want it in. So it's my creative outlet, but I never give myself enough time. So I was overwhelmed with the amount that I had to do. Then when I started it, I thought, oh my God, I've got 18 years worth of photographs that I need to go through. And it's taking ages. And I blignited, I lay down, I took some time for myself. I focused on the end result, which was creating this amazing photo book, and I got it done. I've also created an ode for him, which it's created. I just need to tweak it and print it out, and that's a job to do today before I disappear off tomorrow. So everything's organized for when I get back. So that's been going on. And it was a really interesting story of procrastination, actually, recreating that photo book and how I put it off and put it off over the last month or so. But I got it done, so I'm pleased about that. I've got so much more to tell you, and I need a wee. This is my reality. So what I'm going to do, because I think I've been talking for quite a while, so it's probably time for a good break anyway, is I'm going to end this week's reflection here. I will jump back on again if I can find the time. The key learnings from this week is that I can lean on faith in every moment. And faith is that trusting that in something that there's no evidence currently that's there, trusting in something more, trusting in something better, trusting in myself. And my affirmation for myself this week is I trust my decision's the right one. I'm going to make a decision and I'm going to make it right. So this is Gina Dallison sharing my diary of a healing entrepreneur and changing the perspective of illness. If you would like to get in touch with me, come and join me on Facebook to the Healing Vibrations Network. I am on LinkedIn. I am on Instagram. Obviously, I'm here on YouTube. So come connect, come and join me, come into my world. Let's change the perspective of your illness and see what wonderful journey it can take you on.